Hello and welcome. Let's take a surprise test to determine how well we understand AWS so far. These questions are based on general interview questions. Here is the first one. What is VPC? VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. VPC is a network that is logically isolated from other network in the cloud. So it allows users to have their own IP address range, subnets, internet gateway, NAT gateways, and the security groups. All right, let's move on to the next one. What is VPC peering connection? VPC peering connection allows to connect one VPC with another VPC that allows EC2 instances in both VPCs can communicate with each other as if they were on the same network. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. What are NAT gateways? NAT stands for Network Address Translation. NAT gateways enables EC2 instances in a private subnet to connect to the internet without allowing the inbound internet traffic into that EC2 instance from internet. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Which two components provide connectivity with external networks when connected to a VPC? Here we are referring to the gateways, which are the two types of gateways that are used to connect to the external networks. The answer is Internet Gateway and Virtual Private Gateway. All right, here is the next one. What differs a private subnet from a public subnet? Okay, the answer is a private subnet will not have the direct internet access, whereas a public subnet will have direct internet access. We have explored this in our Bastion host lab exercise, right? A private subnet will not have the internet gateway attached to it, as well as the associated route table or a subnet that will not be associated. Whereas in a public subnet, we will have the internet gateway attached and that will be associated with the route table as well as the subnet. That's the difference. All right, let's move on to the next one. What is the maximum number of EC2 instances that can be created in a VPC? So this question is not actually directly related to VPC. It is related to the EC2 instances. Yes, we all know that there will be a default VPC available in each and every region. So that's why this VPC name came into this question. So what is the maximum number of EC2 instances that can be created in a VPC? So the answer is that 20 instances. That is the maximum limit. If you still wish to have more number of instances created in the same region, then you need to raise a service ticket with AWS. Yes, it is possible to increase the limit, but the default upper ceiling is 20 instances. Okay, that's good. Let's move on to the next one. How many subnets can be created per VPC? The answer is 200 subnets per VPC can be created. If we need to create more number of subnets, yes, of course, then we need to contact the AWS customer support. All right, here comes the next question. Name the components of VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. So when you are creating a virtual private cloud, what are all the components that are available to attach? There are many components, right? So without these components, VPC will not be able to function. VPC will not be able to work. Suppose you delete the default VPC in your region. If you try to create an EC2 instance, you can't even create because there is no VPC. Without VPC, that instance will not have either inbound or outbound rules. All right, there are many components are available in a VPC. To begin with, routing table, security groups, subnets, VPC pairing, VPC endpoints, NACL, that is Network Access Control List, NAT gateway, NAT instances, elastic IP addresses, internet gateway, and egress-only internet gateway. All right, let's move on to the next one. There are a few questions based on these components. So what VPC component is needed to enable IPv6 communication between an EC2 private subnet and the internet? So to make it simple, this question, I will give you a hint. When we say IPv6 communication, the EC2 instance that we create that will have a communication protocol attached, either IPv4 or IPv6. Default IPv4 will be attached. You have option to add IPv6 communication protocol. So suppose IPv6 communication protocol is added into your EC2 instance. And if that EC2 instance is in a private subnet, that is a private entity, now you need to connect to the internet through the bastion host. So what VPC component that need to be attached, that need to be added? Okay, the answer is egress-only internet gateway. This particular internet gateway is used if IPv6 protocol is used in the EC2 instance. So if you have IPv4 protocol instead of IPv6, then we will be using NAT gateway. We have performed this lab exercise, right? Yes, that's correct. All right, let's move on to the next question. How many security groups, route tables, and subnets may be established for a single VPC? And how many VPCs can be created in a region? There are two questions. So for one of the topic, we already got the answer in one of the previous question, that is the subnets. How many subnets can be established? Okay, here we go. The answer is 2,500 VPC security groups per region can be created. 200 route tables can be created per VPC. When we have 200 route tables, of course, we will have 200 subnets as well. So this is related to the first line question, how many security groups, route tables, and subnets may be established for a single VPC. And for the next question, how many VPCs can be created in a region? It is 5 VPCs can be created. By default, there will be always one VPC in each and every region. Apart from that, you can create 4 more VPCs. With this, we have reached at the end of this quiz. Thank you for your participation. We will have a lot more questions in the upcoming sessions. Thank you.